Ayo, bubble.
Hey, yo, Bubbles, welcome back to another episode of Girl, do I remember what my podcast title is? Build the Real Podcast. It's been a second since I've recorded an episode because, first of all, if you're watching this episode and you're like, what the heck, you know, you're watching it through YouTube or whatever, I moved the Spill the Real podcast over back to my main channel. And the main reason why is because I realized having 3 channels was, well, 4. No, 3. 4. It was 4. Having 4 channels and uploading on between 4 channels, it just was a lot. So in order to condense everything, I just brought the podcast back on to the main channel because we're mainly going to be talking a lot about like K-pop and stuff and music and everything. So I thought that it would probably best be over here. So I try to upload like a podcast episode over here on Saturdays, but it's been kind of busy lately. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like November comebacks have been insane. And as you know, we are going to be talking about Enhypen today, and Enhypen is coming back this month as well. So about to be crazy. Oh my God. But yeah, also I'm not in my studio right now. I'm in my room, and that's just because like I haven't had time to like go to the studio, and also I just feel like filming in the studio lately hasn't, I don't know, I don't have like, I want my studio to look a certain way and I haven't achieved the look that I want from it. So it's been kind of frustrating to film in there. So I don't know, it's a work in progress. But today we're going to be talking about finally the Enhypen concert. I've been wanting to talk about this for a minute now. Just haven't had the time to sit down and talk with you guys. But me and the besties went to go see Enhypen a couple weeks ago, and well, maybe like 2 weeks ago, I think at this point. And you guys, I just want to share my experience that I had at this concert because I kid you not, it was way better than I thought it was ever going to be. Like I was not okay. So if you're not familiar with my story with Enhypen, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it a million times at this point, but just in case you're new, I've been a casual fan of Enhypen for like 2 years, basically like almost like all of their time as a group. I watched Island when it came out. I basically knew everybody's names and everything like that. I just didn't really jump into them. I didn't dive deep into them. I didn't go deep into them. I just kind of was like, there's a few songs I like, a few songs that I kind of vibe with. But as a whole, I don't know. I just didn't like fully stan Enhypen at that time. And obviously on the channel, you know, there would be some times where I would react to a comeback and it was like either hit or miss for me. And my friends, a couple of my friends, especially like my reactor friends, you know, really enjoyed Enhypen. So they would talk about them a lot. And so it wasn't until Future Perfect Pass the Mic came out that I finally was like, oh my God, because I remember I was not going to react to the comeback at all. So what I ended up doing was I watched a teaser. I watched a teaser of the song because I knew I wasn't going to react to it. And I sat there after I like watched like the first like 15, 20 seconds, I don't know. And I was like, oh my God, I got to react to this. This is about to be crazy. Like there was something about it that just made me go, okay, this might be the song that gets me with Enhypen. And I have been kind of waiting for the song. So Future Perfect, Pass the Mic comes. I record my reaction to it. It's lit. I'm not doing well. We getting down. And by the way, that's my favorite title track by them to this day. You guys, when it came on, when Future Perfect Pass the Mic came on, I levitated. I was like, Caitlin, my friend next to me, she was like, are you okay? And I was like, girl. She was looking at me like I was dying because I was. I was. And I just screamed the lyrics the whole time. So that comeback happened. I was like, okay, but I still don't think I don't know if I said if I stand them at that point yet either. But it wasn't until Bite Me where I said, I stand. Because Bite Me came out and it was like, I was just really floored. I was like, what is happening? So Future Perfect and Bite Me really made me stand Enhypen. And at that point, like I said, I already had kind of known them and their names and their story. Basically had heard all of their music off camera. So I was really familiar with this group, really familiar. So, you know, one thing led to another. I ended up standing them. I stand them now. And we started watching some things on the Patreon, a lot of stuff on the Patreon, and getting to know them even more. And I realized that I started to really like love this group. Like it just kind of happened and it was kind of like thrown at me. And I was like, whoa, we need to slow down. We need to slow down. And so, you know, I'm getting into more of their content. I'm really just digging everybody at this point. And so then the announcement of the tour happened and me and my friends were like, we gotta go. And they love Enhypen. Like they got their biases, everything. And we got the tickets. We didn't get floor because it was GA and we don't go for GA. It's just really kind of, I don't know. It's just something that we just don't do, you know, unless it's seated, we can try. But if it's not seated, we go for 100s because it's just a better experience, in my opinion. We get the tickets, we're prepping. And on the way to the venue, I remember they were like, you're not going to be okay. You're not going to be okay. And one of my friends, Caitlin, she was like, I think you're going to ult them at the end of this, at the end of this concert. Part of me felt like she was right because at that moment in time in my journey with them, it had such a buildup. Like I was like already like, I really like them. I really enjoy them. Like I was like, yes, you know, they hadn't made me cry yet, but like, I felt it. But yeah, no, like the love for them at that point was pretty high. So I had a feeling she could be right about that. So we get there, and one thing that I really noticed off the bat was the stage. The stage is like a coffin, and I'm like, bro, this stage was so big. I've never seen a stage like that. It was the B stage, not the main stage. So the B stage was like this huge coffin, which was so cool to me. I feel like it made it easier for like people far back to see them too because of how big the stage was, but also they had like pretty good, you know, screens and stuff. We were in the United Center, so everything was pretty easy to see at that point. I've been in that, at that arena many times. But yeah, the stage was really, really cool. And they constantly had red lighting. Now, if y'all don't know, recording and red lighting sucks. But it totally went like with the whole like vampire theme and everything like that. So like they had like red lighting the whole time. We're prepping, you know, Bite Me's playing, we're singing along, and the concert starts. And bro, first of all, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more towards the end of the video, but this Chicago crowd, I don't know what was going on. So they had toured beforehand. Last year, I think it was last year, they had come to Chicago before, and they really loved the energy that Chicago brings. And as someone who always goes to Chicago shows, Chicago does bring insane energy. So they really liked Chicago's energy last tour. So when they came around this time, they were like so excited to like get to be in the same, you know, arena with Chicago again. And I've been, like I said, I've been a part of a lot of Chicago shows, and I have never been a part of a show that loud and that. When I tell y'all, we were doing the fan chants, we were doing, oh my God, it was just crazy. It was like, I was like really kind of like taken aback by how loud we were. I definitely think it was the loudest show that I've been a part of in Chicago, truly. I would say the second loudest was Monsta X, day one in Chicago, at Chicago Theater. I would say that was, my ears were ringing that day, but like, bro, Enhypen, that was like a whole nother level. I was like, oh my God. So, we get the VCR, everything starts to go, and the boys come out one by one, and they're in these like, outfits, and they look good, and they come out, and the first song they do is Drunk Dazed. Hold on, let me talk about the set list real quick, y'all. The set list went crazy. Oh my God. Like, truly, I can't believe they did that to us. Okay, so the set list was Drunk Days, Blockbuster, Let Me In, Flicker, Fever, Feature Perfect, Blessed Curse, Attention Please. These are all at the top of this concert. There was no break. Paradox Invasion, Tame Dash, That Feeling When, Just a Little Bit Intense. Okay, so That Feeling When and Just a Little Bit were unit songs, so that was really cool. Jay played the guitar, and he smashed the guitar, by the way, too. He just smashed it on stage, and I was like, oh. And then played the piano, and I was like, this is so cute. 10 Months, Polaroid Love, Shout Out, Go Big or Go Home. Check them, Bills, Criminal Love, Sacrifice, Eat Me Up, Bite Me, One in a Million, Karma, and Go. And then they have the Encore. This entire set list was so good. So good. I think the only thing I would have loved to have heard would have been Given and Taken, because I've never heard that song live. So I would have loved to hear that one. I think they may have performed it last tour, but I had like all of my songs that got me into Enhypen was on here. So I was okay with it. So since we brought up the set list, what was my favorite song live? Okay, I gotta say, I gotta put Future Perfect up there because you guys, I love that song so much. I don't know if y'all like that. I don't even know how the comeback did in terms of everything, but like, I know it was a big deal when it happened, but like for me personally, like it is my favorite Enhypen song, and I feel like most people don't think that way. But like it gets me. It's so freaking good. I really didn't even film that much of that song because I was so in the moment. I was just like, whatever, I'm here, let's go. Blockbuster was really fun because I have seen a live stage of Enhypen and Yeonjun doing it, but not just Enhypen themselves doing it. So it's really cool to see like what member would take Yeonjun's verse or whatever. And they were like rapping hardcore on that. That was so good. I really like 10 Months. 10 Months was a cute little song. I don't know. There's something about that song that I really like. And seeing them just kind of be so cute on stage, I really enjoyed that. Criminal Love. So it goes Future Perfect, Criminal Love. I would put Criminal Love above Future Perfect because it was that good. But Future Perfect is my favorite song. So Criminal Love, though, was the best song live, in my opinion. Like, oh my God, it was so good. It was so good. Like, I remember when I heard the song for the first time, I was like, this is like gotta be one of their best songs. Seeing it live, it was so good. Mwah, mwah, mwah. 10 out of 10, it was so good. Go Big or Go Home was, I feel like the whole stadium like would shake when we would sing the song. I don't know what it was about that particular song, but everybody in the arena would scream the lyrics to that song. Go Big or Go Home was the song I feel like most people were like singing along to. And there's a fan chant at a certain part. I think it's like the dance break that they do. And both times, because they performed it twice, both times we just went absolutely nuts. I don't even know. I was just in shock. I was looking around and everybody was doing the fan chant. It was so loud. It was so loud. I was like, oh my God. So the first time we did it, absolutely crazy. And then when they came out again, we really went crazy. And it just was like, wow. The energy, like I could feel the arena just shaking. It was so good. Chagum Chigum. I don't know if I'm saying that name right, but you know, it's okay, it's fine. That song live was actually really good too. And a song that I'm laughing because my friend Caitlin was on the side of me and she ended up bawling her eyes out during the song, which honestly same. But when they actually performed Shout Out, it was so good. It was so moving. Like they were on like these steps, so they were just singing along, and the crowd was beautiful with all the light sticks, and they were singing along, and it was just a moment I felt like between us and them that was like really sacred. And looking over to the side, I just saw Caitlin like bawling her eyes out. It was like I was like, oh no, girl, I feel it though. I feel you. So just like in terms of that, I think Shout Out was definitely a memorable song that I remember. So yeah, their whole set list, in my opinion, was just fantastic. You got a lot of classics, but also you got some of the newer songs as well. I think they did a good job at picking the set list. I know the set list is something that a lot of people are like, ooh, you know, because people want their favorite songs to be on it. But honestly, they performed a lot. Like they didn't have many down moments. They still did. But there was times in the set where it was just back to back to back. They would perform like 8 songs back to back. And I was like, bro, are y'all good? You know? And like I mentioned, like most of these songs were pretty upbeat and high energy. There was a couple songs on there that was like more ballady, but like not many, you know? I forgot to mention, they do go out into the crowd for Polaroid Love. And so they had set up these barriers on like left and right side of the stage. And so some members would go off to the left, the other members would go off to the right. And so, you know, it was like a cute moment where they could come out in the crowd. I know that there was a couple stops where it was kind of little rough. But from my perspective, I think Chicago went pretty well. I don't really know how Send Off went. I didn't see any videos. I haven't seen any videos. So, but from my perspective in the arena, Chicago for Polaroid Love was okay. It seemed like everybody was respectful. We were a little bit further away. We weren't really that far, but we were not that close to like the floor in terms of where our seats were. So I could see the top of Jay's head, but like other than that, no. In terms of like all that, it wasn't, we weren't that close. Okay, let's talk about the members because... yeah. Okay, let's start off with the member that wrecked me the most. So, going into this concert, I had a really big Heung and Jake problem. They were the two that always would just wreck the hell out of me. So, you know, they were a problem. I would say the member that surprised me and wrecked me the most, though, in this concert was Jay. And you know what's crazy is at the end of the concert, he said he wasn't feeling that well. I couldn't tell at all. He had some health issues with his body, and he addressed it a little bit on Reverse too. I saw a couple of the posts that he had made and replied to, but he did say he wasn't feeling the best. But despite that, he wanted to go on and put on a show. Bless his heart, this man. But yeah, no, he wrecked me a lot just in his power and delivery with a lot of his lines. And I just kept being wrecked by Jay. And there were moments like in music videos or songs where I was like, yo, Jay is okay. But like, it wasn't until like I was actually in the arena and could see like on the screen and hear him, like, bro, I was like, Jay though, like, I was like, Jay. Also, just seeing him play the guitar was so attractive. I don't know. Like, when he was playing the guitar, I was like, bro, like, why? So, hands down, he was definitely, like, the member that wrecked me the most, I think. Sunu is exactly the same way as I feel like I see him through, like, you know, videos and stuff. Very shy. Like, shy, quiet. He didn't really speak a ton. Besides like when he would like have like his like talking moments, you know. But one thing about my boy Sunu though, there was a couple moments where I was like actually shook. Like specifically with Criminal Love. Criminal Love, I was like, no, cut it out. Sunu was very cute and very like, oh my God, you know, like he just he's so adorable. But when he gets like in the zone and in it, like it's actually dangerous. Like it's actually dangerous. Like there was a couple times where I was like about to fall on the floor. I was like, Sunu better cut that out. Sunu better cut that out. So it was really fun to get to see him in that way and like see his dynamic because I've been really enjoying a lot of Sunu on like albums and stuff. I think his voice is amazing. I love his voice and he kills a lot of the concepts that Enhypen does, and I loved him in Bite Me. Oh my God, he killed Bite Me. So getting to see him in person was just really cool. Sunghoon, wow. I feel like Sunghoon is such a unique person. Like the way that this man always rises to the challenge is beyond me. Every comeback, I'm like, Sunghoon, what's going on? Like Future Perfect Passive Mike specifically in that era, he killed. Oh my God, he killed. But Sacrifice Eat Me Up, I cannot tell you how this man eats that song. He kills that song. Also on Criminal Love with the pops, ba, 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 ba. I couldn't even handle him. I could not handle Sunghoon on that song. I was just like absolutely floored. I was like, sir, calm down. Please. He is such a joy to watch. Like I really like watching him perform. I think he's such a star and I really appreciate a lot of his hard work and how he constantly is getting better every single comeback. I can't wait for this comeback, this next comeback, because I just feel like he's going to absolutely kill it like once again. And you know, we've been seeing him in the trailers, in his acting and killing the acting roles, and I just can't believe him ever. Jongan. Oh my God. One thing I want to talk about Jongan for me personally, and I don't know if anyone else feels the same way. I feel like I have to watch Island again because I feel like I could have sworn I heard someone talk about his dancing on Island, but y'all, Jongan is an insane dancer. I just want to say that, like, wow. Wow. There was so many times when like the camera would like pan to Jongan and he would hit the most insane, like, I don't know. He was just doing the choreo, but it was so hard. It was so hard. I think it was during like the dance break, one of the times where he wrecked the hell out of me. I was like recording and all of a sudden he just like, bah, 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 and I was like, oh, okay. He just hit the choreo so hard and I was like, oh my God, sir, please spare me. He is so powerful on stage. And I recently just love watching him dance. It's so insane. Like, I love his fluid movements and how he executes choreo. It's so good every time. There is something about Jongan that just catches my eye. Like, I don't really know what it is, but like he was definitely someone that stuck out to me a lot too. When I was like getting into the group for the first time. But yeah, a couple times me and Caitlin were like, yo, did you see him? We were just like, yo, did you see what he just did? Oh, he freaking killed it though. Oh my God, I loved it. Oh, he killed it. Nikki. Okay, so with Nikki, I was well aware that he was someone that as a performer was, he has that. He's had that. His dancing is truly, like, he's so young. I can't even imagine how Nikki is going to grow in his dancing as he gets older. Like, I cannot even, that's going to be so insane. But one thing I noticed while in the arena was actually his live vocals. And I know in Island, which by the way was a long time ago. Well, it wasn't that long ago, but it's been enough time that I know he struggled with like his vocals a lot back then, but obviously he's grown in them. And like I mentioned before, it seems like he's been getting a lot of rapping roles, which I enjoy Nikki rapping. I really like Nikki's rapping tone. I think it brings like a unique flair to Enhypen. But there was like a moment, and I think it was in just a little bit. And it was like the first part was a unit. Then they all came out, but Nikki was singing, and it was so beautiful. I loved hearing his voice in that moment, like just hearing his voice, like in that moment with the piano and him just singing. Like, oh, it was so good. It was so good. So like moments like that really stuck out to me when it came to Nikki. And of course, he was eating the choreo all the time. I also really love how much Nikki loves America. Like, I don't think I've ever seen the Idol love America that much that he didn't want to leave. When I tell y'all this man was like, I don't want to go. Like, he genuinely did not want to go. I think I saw Weavers. He was like, I want to move to America. Like, this man said, I'm staying. Y'all can go. I literally cannot. Yeah, but no, Nikki loves America, and I love that he loves America so much. America loves Nikki right back. It just looked like he genuinely was so happy to be there. So it kind of warmed my heart that he loved, just being able to tour, in North America for a little bit there. So yeah, I purposely left Jake and Heung last because just as I thought, they were huge problems for me. I don't know what got into Jake, but the man was cussing up a storm. What? This man came to America and said, let's go. There was this one point, I think it was towards the Encore. There was an Encore, and they had came out again. And Jake was like, make some mother noise. And I was like, oh my God. I felt back. I was like, the man I don't know why I couldn't handle that. Like, that was too much for me to handle at all. And he's so confident on stage. I don't know if it's just me and the way I perceived him, but there would be moments on stage where he would just be in it, and he would just lick his lips and like stick out his tongue. And I was like, sir, what are you doing? He led a lot of the conversations, obviously. So he was speaking a lot. But there were also other members that spoke a lot too. But I would say that Jake was like the person that was speaking a lot in terms of like when they were having their talking moments or whatever. He was really kind of help lead the conversation in that way. I think I just love Jake's personality. I think that's what I'm so drawn to him. He's so kind and so warm. He's like a puppy. He's so adorable. I love it. And that's exactly how I felt like seeing him in person. Like I felt that warmness. I felt that kindness, like even just seeing him on a screen, you know? So, you know, going into it, as I said before, he was someone that I had a problem with. I had a problem with him during the whole entire show. He sung. Okay. So yeah. I don't know, how do I describe this man? I don't know the right words to describe this man. But he lit up that stage. Like, he did not have to go that hard. There were so many times I would look up and he was like growling. I don't even know. Like, he was singing so hard. Like, Criminal Love. Oh, well, especially One in a Billion. I don't know what. He gets so angry during that song. He's like, he's just like going. And I'm like, sir, what did we do? Why are you screaming at me? His stage presence, you can't not know. Like, it's so known. Like, it's just there. He's there. Even when you're trying not to look at him, he's there. I had a hard time with him. Like, he just kept popping up and I was just like, please stop. One thing about him that I noticed though was that I felt like one thing is I think he got a little emotional. I don't know exactly. He was trying to play it off like he was like, I'm not going to cry. But I think like it was overwhelming for him. Well, one, I think the tour was ending and it was just like, oh my God, like, it's so sad. But also he was the one that kept talking about how he was so moved by our energy. He was just like, I'm so moved right now, you guys. There was one part in the show where they like sectioned us. So like Floor was like, I think it was Sunghoon. I think Sunghoon had Floor. And then we were second section. So we had Heesung. And then the third floor was another, I forgot who had third floor. But like we got separated in sections and then we were competing against each other and to see who was the loudest or whatever. And it was insane. It was loud. I think we all tied at the end. I don't know. We were just all loud. But for our section, the second row, the second section, he had us like speak in Korean back to him. So he would say a phrase and then we would say it back to him. So he would say it and then we would say it. And he'd be like, oh my God, you guys are so good. Like, wait a minute. Like, wait. He was like, wait, do it again. And like, for real, we did sound really good. Like, I was like hearing us. I was like, wait, why are we all fluent in Korean over here, y'all? Like, he was really impressed with like our energy and like us being able to just like follow along. I don't know. He was just like, oh my God, you guys are awesome. He had us sing along a lot. Like, he would like do like improv, like, okay, everybody, let's sing Polaroid Love, go. And I'd be like, oh. And it was so beautiful. I feel like he really loved hearing us sing back to him. It was so cute. Watching Island, he was someone that like everybody was like, oh my God, it's Heesung. You know, he comes in, he's just like a legendary trainee. Everyone knows of him or knows that he's insanely talented. And, you know, he had this like big rep, you know. Throughout the show, you just see him grow in his leadership, even as that, you know, as someone that he's just not someone just with talent. He's someone that, you know, really unites people really well. And you can see just how important his role is in Enhypen, as well as all the members' roles. Like, Enhypen would not be Enhypen without, you know, the members together. It's just like when he's on that stage, it's just, he lights up so much. Like, seeing him playing the piano, that was so cool for me to see him do that. And his vocals, oh my God, like, I don't even think he hit a wrong note. I don't even think he hit a wrong note the whole entire show. It was just crazy. Like, he was smiling. I could feel like he was like really having fun. Like, he was just like, this is the last show. Let's go. Like, I just feel like he left it all on the table. So I think he took in that moment a lot and really kind of made it what it was. So I feel like I can confidently say Heesung is a bias for me. I still debating on Jake being a wrecker or bias, but I feel like he's one of the two. I think Jay and Jongan, yeah, I don't know. We're going to see. Jay almost got me though. I still have love for all the members though. You know, like, just because I have a bias or a wrecker doesn't mean that I don't love Enhypen as a whole, you know? And I know I don't have to say that, but like, some people be assuming. I don't know why, but yeah. The last thing I want to say was that we did not plan on getting an extra encore. So like they do it how they usually do it. You know, they say their goodbyes, you know, they're doing the encore, we're having a good time, and then they start to like leave and do their final bow, and then the doors close. Then, and when I tell you guys, there were people walking out of the arena because we didn't know that they were coming back out. Like, we didn't know. And so we all thought it was over. Like, it wasn't like, nobody was like, wait, you guys, it's going to be a surprise. It wasn't like a known thing that was happening. But all of a sudden, while we're like on our way out, like we hear them over the microphone and they're like, are you ready? And we're like, what? And they come back out and they do a second encore. And I'm like, oh my God, shut up. No. That's not happening. I was freaking out because I was like, is this part of the show? Like, are they supposed to do this? And Caitlin was like, girl, I don't know, but they back on. We were like, oh my God. And they came out with so much freaking energy. It was insane. We were just like freaking out. It was so good. Out of like, at this point, I've seen like maybe like 20 concerts or so with K-pop. I have never seen a group come out like that and do a second encore. Like, I have never seen that. I've seen groups do encores, but like, I've never seen them do an encore, go away, and then come back and do another one. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was just so like, huh? It felt like one big, huge party, and I just loved it. It was so good. I was like jumping so much. Like, I was just in it. I was like, ah! And I have bruises all over my legs. Like, y'all, I was getting down. I was getting down in the 100s. I truly like had the time of my life. It was so fun. I was just completely just like, this is the best thing ever. It was so good. I'd like to tie everything up. One thing that Enhypen gets praised for a lot is their performance ability. Like, they are, in my opinion, professionals when it comes to performances. There were so many times in the concert where they were not only executing choreo insanely well, but they acted as a unit. It was like they were all one together when they were performing together. Their vocals were amazing. The rapping was amazing. They never lacked energy, even if they were tired, right? The fact that Jay has something going on. I think Nikki wasn't feeling that well either, too, at the same time. Like, they could have not been in their best condition, like, in their terms, but you couldn't tell that because on stage, they were on and they were giving it their all. I felt like, even though I wasn't like front row, I was still being like seen and still being like included in the moment because the way that they were just performing on stage, it was just like an undescribable feeling. I just don't know how to put it into words how it felt like in that room. And I'm sure the boys are going to remember not only this tour, but like also I truly feel this way because the way that they talked about it, I feel like they're going to remember that night for the rest of their lives and just how insane it was, how much. Like, after that second encore, I couldn't even believe they were still standing. It was crazy. Like, I know that, you know, they have been touring and doing, so many stops for, like, the last few weeks. And to end it all on that stage that night was crazy. It really kind of opened up my eyes to, like, my love for them. And, like, at the end, I did make them an old group. So, Enhypen is an old group. Caitlin was right. But it was just, like, I couldn't really justify not making them one because like I was just like, at this point I love them, I've grown to love them, I've been, it's just like a newfound joy has happened because of this group, and seeing them live like that, I was just like, I was floored. And so I was like, yeah yeah, you're right. So like now getting ready and gearing up for this comeback, I am beyond excited to figure out what this sound is going to be, get another album. Their albums are insane. Get more music. And I would definitely go see Enhypen again. Hands down. If I have the ability to do it, I would jump at it. One of my favorite concerts this year, like truly, it's going to go down up in the top 3, I feel like. They put on a phenomenal show. Every member did absolutely amazing. It's just, I'm still buzzing from it weeks later. Like, I feel like if a concert leaves you kind of like in like wanting more, they did their job, and Enhypen did their job, bro. I've watched my entire concert vlog like 5 times at this point, and it's playing in the background if you guys can see. I'm sorry if it's distracting y'all, but I wanted to have it in the background. But I just like, you can just hear me freaking out so many times, but it's so good. It's so good. I don't know. I just had such a fun time at this concert. I met Jeff. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but he's also another K-pop reactor. He loves Enhypen, and he was on the floor, and he actually got pretty close to some of the members as well. But it was so cool to meet Jeff. He was so sweet, so kind. And it was like really fun to like kind of like gush about Enhypen with him like in person, because like I normally just watch his videos and I'm in his comment section like, oh, me too. But just to see him in person too, like it was one of my highlights of that night too, just like getting to meet him. Long story short, I don't want to make this episode too long. I really enjoyed this concert. I think it's left an impact on me. I really feel like I had truly one of the best night at this concert. Like, I had so much fun. I try to be as present as I can be in these concerts. I do, film them for you guys, but I just had so much fun in person, like at this concert. It was so good. It was just so awesome. I always leave a concert feeling satisfied, but I think leaving Enhypen's concert, I was kind of like wanting more. I was like, oh my God. Like, I felt satisfied, but it was so good. And I was so sad that it was over that I wanted to go back in and just be like, let's do another encore. Like, let's keep going. Why not? So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I just wanted to talk a little bit about this concert and what it was to me and how much fun I had, and, the members and all of their hard work and celebration for this comeback that's going to be happening. And they mentioned it a lot in the tour. They were like, please give this comeback so much love. And so I'm so excited to get to see it in full, react to it, and get to hear the album for the first time. So, and I feel like it's my first comeback truly as a fan, like Bite Me made me stand, but now I'm going into this comeback a fan. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm fully there. So I'm just like, I'm just like freaking out the whole time. I'm so excited. So anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode of the podcast. I only got one more concert left for this year. And I will be doing an episode on that concert as well. It's going to be so fun. It's just going to be so fun because this concert, this person means a lot to me as an artist, as a producer, as a songwriter. And not only did I get pretty close seats to the stage, we're like 4th row. I also got meet and greet tickets. So I'll be getting like, group photo with him, high touch, all that stuff. But also, I was able to get one-on-one. So like, it's not only am I getting a group photo, but I'm getting a one-on-one picture with him. And I'm going to be able to say hi and let him know how much this music means to me. So it's just going to be like the perfect concert to end 2023. So I can't wait to talk to you guys about like the whole experience. It's going to be so freaking fun. That is going to be it for me. Thank you all for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, give it a like, give it a comment, subscribe. If you aren't subscribed, we try to do every Saturday, every other Saturday. I'll say that because it don't be every Saturday, but we try to get a episode up and talk about some things. Working on getting more guests on here. Having a good time. I talked to Jeff about possibly doing a podcast together, an episode together. So let me know down below if you'd be interested in me and Jeff doing an episode. Like, we could talk about all kinds of stuff. But that's gonna be it for me. I'm excited for this comeback. I hope you guys are excited for this comeback, and I will see y'all on the next episode. Peace.